Hi, this is Brad Constantine, and this is a podcast recording of the Old Testament. Although this is not an official recording of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, every effort's been made to be as doctrinally accurate as possible. I'll be using for the text the Joseph Smith translation of the Old Testament, along with many commentaries from general authorities of the Church, BYU professors, Bible scholars, and others. This format will be very detailed, and so if you want a deep analysis of the Old Testament, you come to the right place. Thanks for your attendance. There, welcome back. This is going to be for the book of Lamentations. We're going to start in chapter 1 today. I'm going to read a little heading first, a little introductory information about the book of Lamentations, we think written by Jeremiah. Poetry is used in many cultures to express poignant feeling, and the entire book of Lamentations is written in carefully constructed poetry. Chapters 1 to 2 and 4 form acrostics. Each has 22 verses, each beginning with one of the 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet in alphabetical order. Ellis T. Rasmussen wrote that part of the effect of alphabetic acrostic poetry is to convey the impression that the poem covers whole spectrum of the feelings with which the poem is concerned. Chapter 3 has 66 verses, which is 3 times 22, and is also acrostic. In that chapter, the first 3 verses begin with the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet, the next 3 with the second letter, and so on. Chapter 5 has 22 verses, but is not acrostic. Aren't you glad you know that? In the Bible dictionary regarding the book of Lamentations, it says, or dirges over the fall of Jerusalem and the nation. Written by Jeremiah, the poems are acrostic. I think I said that. Chapters 1 and 2, 4 having each 22 verses beginning with the successive letters of the alphabet. Chapter 3 has, I think I just said that. Okay, let's go on here. This beautiful little book is very instructive, e.g. in regard to the scenes of the city and the feelings of the people. Chapter 4, the deep impression made by the destruction of the holy city and temple by Jehovah's own by Jehovah's own hand, the feeling of sin awakened in it, and the deep sense of national humiliation. The date of the book must be some years after the fall of the city, of which the writer was an eyewitness. All right, I'll read the heading here. Jeremiah laments the miserable estate of Jerusalem. Jerusalem herself complains of her deep sorrow. Verse 1. How doth the city sit solitary that was full of people? How is she become as a widow, she that was great among the nations and princess among the provinces? How is she become tributary? Jerusalem has lost its prior glory due to wickedness. Church membership alone will not save us. We must be righteous. She weepeth sore in the night, and her tears are on her cheeks. Among all her lovers she hath none to comfort her. All her friends have dealt treacherously with her. They are become her enemies. Judah is gone into captivity because of affliction, and because of the great servitude. She dwelleth among the heathen. She findeth no rest. All her persecutors overtook her between the straits. Down to verse 8. Jerusalem hath grievously sinned, therefore she is removed. All that honored her despise her, because they have seen her nakedness. Yea, she sitteth and turneth backward. Verse 11. All her people sigh, they seek bread. They have given their pleasant things that for meat to relieve the soul. See, O Lord, and consider, for I am become vile. Tradition has long ascribed the book of Lamentation to Jeremiah, though some modern critics question whether all of the book was written by him. Keel and Delitzsch concluded that an extensive examination of the arguments against Jeremiah's authorship, that the tradition which ascribes the Lamentations to the prophet Jeremiah as their author is as well-founded as any historical tradition whatsoever. The writer of Lamentations wrote to reveal Judah's pathetic condition as a despoiled people at the hands of the Babylonians. He likened abandoned Jerusalem to a woman whose husband was dead. All her lovers, the false gods she worshipped, abandoned her to her enemies. All of this came about because of Judah's wickedness. Even the Lord forsook her in the hour of her affliction. Her enemies mocked at her Sabbaths. The heading to the book of Lamentations in the Hebrew text is Aika, which is translated as Alas, how? That was by Keel and Delitzsch. It was customary in ancient Judah to compose and sing lamentations about departed friends or relatives. Jeremiah did the same for his beloved Jerusalem. The pleasant things in verses 10 and 11 are allusions, in part to the precious vessels taken from the temple by the enemy. The few valuable items left had been sold to relieve the hunger and distress that had come upon the people. That was out of the Institute Manual. Then down to verse 18, the Lord is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandment. Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold my sorrow. My virgins and my young men are gone into captivity. Again, this is talking about that they've gone away into captivity. Verse 22, let all their wickedness come before thee, and do unto them as thou hast done unto me. For all my transgressions, for my sighs are many, and my heart is faint. Jeremiah employed vivid images to depict Judah's great distress, likened it to fire in the bones, a net for the feet, a yoke around the neck, the crushing of grapes in a winepress. Each allusion is an apt one. The image of the yoke or bands around the neck is also used in Isaiah 52. According to the interpretation given in Doctrine and Covenants 113, the bands on Israel's neck are the curses of God upon her, or the remnants of Israel in their scattered condition among the Gentiles. Judah's 70-year captivity in Babylon was like that described in these scriptures. In her captive condition, none appeared to comfort Judah. She put forth her hands in a plea for help, but no one responded. Her false lovers and former allies deserted her. Zion was in great distress. She knew then that her wickedness was the cause of her sorrowful state. And that's out of the Institute Manual. Anyway, that's the end of the chapter. Come back for more. This is exciting stuff, isn't it?